Hey everyone, I am back. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. I hope that you have had a really great and amazing week. For those of you who tune in to Mental Health Moment every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here live on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. Welcome back, and thanks so much for joining here. For those of you who are brand new to Mental Health Moment, welcome. It's Dr. Hammond here with your Mental Health Moment. We are here live every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. And for those of you who are tuning in to the replay on Dr. Nikisha Hammond YouTube, be sure to watch this video, like this video, share, and subscribe to the page. And thanks for those of you who are starting to join here. Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. I am here live here today, you all. The last couple months, for some reason, have been just really hectic for whatever reason. So for those of you who are new to mental health moment, I would say 98.3% of the time I am here live on Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern. But once in a while, if I have a conflict, of course, I do my best to try to record for you all. And then, of course, you can still watch Mental Health Moment still around that time. But I love being here with you live. So you all let me know where you're tuning in from today in the chat. Hopefully I'll be able to see the chat because the chat just does what it wants to do sometimes with technology. But for those of you who are brand new, I reside in the Tampa Bay area of Florida, where I'm actually at today. Just got back from Nashville recently, actually. For those of you who follow me on LinkedIn, you may have seen the picture. I just posted it today, actually. But before I start Mental Health Moment today, I did want to share some exciting news. And I want to thank each and every one of you all, especially, well, for everybody tuning in, but especially if you've been tuning in for a while with Mental Health Moment, which I know there's many of you. So thank you for your support and being here, not for me, but for also you. But the International Association of Top Professionals awarded me with the 2024 Mental Health Host of the Year Award for this show. So super excited to receive that this past weekend in Nashville. And so if you're on LinkedIn, or actually if you're on any social media platform that I follow, you can see a little clip of it. If you're on Instagram, you can actually see the reel on there with the video. And it was a really great event. Super honored, of course, to receive that award from that organization. And what was really cool, you all, about that event was I met so many phenomenal people from literally all over the world doing such great things and such great work in the world from all different industries, all different walks of life. Like it was so neat. It was such a neat awards gala. So nonetheless, you can check that out again if you follow on social. But I share that with you because I'm super grateful to be here with you all on Mental Health Moment since I want to say around 2016-ish, somewhere around there, when I met Dr. Jackie King, who is just completely amazing. Some of you probably know her, the founder of Black Women Empowered Incorporated. Amazing human being. I'm grateful for her partnership with this show on this platform, as well as the amazing friendship. I've just gotten to know her over the years, and she's just amazing human being and doing great work, great global work. So I wanted to make that announcement and let you all know that exciting news today. And for those of you who have been tuning in the last, oh my gosh, a couple of months, I think. It's been a minute. We have been going through my newest book, which is Mindset Training, Conquer Your Mind, and oops, let me put it in the screen. Okay. Mindset Training, Conquer Your Mind, and the rest will follow. It is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Walmart.com, pretty much any online retailer. And we've been going through each chapter. So I'm just giving a brief highlight, of course, of the chapter and just some of my thoughts since I wrote it for each of these chapters here. We're actually up to chapter 15 today, you all. So by the end of this year, for those of you who are new to Mental Health Moment, this has been just kind of a special series these last couple of months here going through the book. If you miss any, you can always go to YouTube, Dr. Nikisha Hammond YouTube. All the replays are on there if you want to get just some highlights over the book. But again, Mindset Training, Conquer Your Mind, and the rest will follow. if you don't have your copy. If you do have your copy, then feel free to highlight, take notes, or whatever it is you need during this time. And thanks for those who are still starting to join here. Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. I'm reading some of your comments here. Hi, welcome, welcome. You're absolutely welcome. Someone said thanks for your insight. You're welcome. Yep. I was seeing like about job stress, mental job stress. That's a real thing. And hi, welcome to you as well. And let me know where you're tuning in from as well, because I like to see where y'all are tuning in from here. Okay, we're gonna get started. And for those of you who, okay, here we go. Let me just share before I share some highlights of chapter 15. But for those of you who are brand new to Mental Health Moment, um, Mental Health Moment is all about how do you become the best version of who you are so you can show up powerfully for yourself and for the people around you. This, like I said, these last couple weeks here or months, the special segments, we've been going through, of course, the book, and then starting in the beginning of next year, then I will be going back to some regular scheduled mental health moments. California's in the house. Welcome, welcome. Um, Tuning in from Long Beach, California. Oh, there's another person. Oh, we got multiple people from California today. PA's in the house. Welcome. Thanks so much for joining, you guys. How are you doing today? I think you're talking to me and not someone else in the chat. I don't know. But if you're asking me, I'm doing amazing. I am doing great and super blessed and super grateful. Even in the course of this crazy year of 2024. But it's all good. Super grateful. Okay, chapter 15, you all. I know you're like, when is she going to get to the book? Okay, chapter 15. So this section of the book, well, the book is about holistic self-care. So how do you grow physically, emotionally, spiritually, and mentally, and all those different areas? Because what I found as a psychologist over, oh my gosh, almost 16 years, at the beginning of next year, is that a lot of us hyper focus on one area of our life, but we are whole people, right? We have different needs in different areas of our life. So let's think about our self-care also holistically. Welcome from Chicago, Illinois. Welcome, welcome. Oh, I know it's cold there. Ugh. You said that, and I was like, oh, I was seeing all the California. I was like, oh, it's probably warmer. And then I saw Chicago. I was like, oh. It was freezing in Tennessee, by the way, you all. I woke up, I think it was this past Saturday, and it was like 20 degrees, which as a Floridian is really difficult to deal with. It's so cold. It's just so cold for me. Okay, but anyways, it's all good. But welcome, welcome. It doesn't matter what climate you're tuning in from. Thanks so much for joining here. So chapter 15, so this section of the book is about spiritual self-care. And the other parts obviously were about physical, emotional, and mental self-care. So essentially this chapter, it talks about spiritual growth. I do want to say that no matter where you're tuning in from in the world, what your religion is or isn't about, spiritual growth is not necessarily only your religious background. It could be if you want to connect it in that way, but it could be you connecting to nature, or if you believe in things that happen to you in the universe, or whatever it is for you that you feel. There's a lot of things that are just bigger than ourselves, if that makes sense. So I do want to preface with saying that. And pretty much chapter 15 talks about how do you grow as a person. Let me ask one of the questions that were in here. So, and let me ask you, you can let me know in the chat if you feel comfortable answering this question, but what do you feel that you need for your spiritual growth, right? So when you really think about it for you, what do you feel that would be helpful to you for your spiritual growth? So let me know in the chat. Now, a lot of the personal growth that I talk about in this book, it doesn't matter where you're at in your journey. Meaning, if you are at a place where you're like, I'm having a rough time, I'm in a dark hour, I have some stresses going on in certain particular areas of my life, it may look a little bit different, but there's still ways for you to take care of yourself and to grow as a person. If you're at a place where you're like, I'm at the highest place of my life, like I feel great, all is good, there's so many things going right, there's abundance, like all these things, abundance in different areas of your life, that's amazing. And there's still room for growth too, right? So I hope that one of the things I hope you get out of the entire book, frankly, is that you always have an opportunity to grow no matter where you're at in the journey. So someone said, Oh, okay. You were talking to someone. Okay. I'm trying to read your comments here. And sometimes you guys talk to one another. So I never know. I'm like, wait, is this my comment or is this a comment for someone? But I saw you tag someone. Someone said, I enjoy how you frame this holistic and practical. Dark hour is a great way to put it. Yeah, because we all have that, right? And I talked a little bit about different parts of my journey in this book as well. Um, for the sake of mental health moment and the time, I won't go into it. So you can always read about it in here, but we all have that, right? It's the highs and lows, it's the peaks, the valleys, like that's just how life is. But I hope that you know that no matter where you're at, that you still have an opportunity to grow. So that's one of the questions again to ask yourself. What do you feel that you need for your spiritual growth right now? Um, taking the time to be present. So there's two ways to be present that I talk a little bit about in this chapter. One is, and you heard it before, like spending time meditation, if you will, spending that quiet time. And that's one way to really get some clarity. Maybe you're at a place where you feel lost and you need some clarity, spending some quiet time with yourself. Again, spiritually, it means different things to different people. Some people attach religion, as I mentioned, some people don't. For me personally, I attach prayer. That's something that I try to work on a lot in my own spiritual growth. That's something that's helpful to me. Not here to convert anyone though. So please do what's best for you and whatever it is that aligns with your belief system when it comes to your spiritual growth. But again, taking that time to be still, taking that time to have the quiet time, whether it looks like meditation, whether it looks like maybe turning off some electronics that are around you and just still be doing things, but in that quiet space and spending that time with yourself sometimes, or again, reaching out to whatever it is entity you may or may not believe in. Um, and also, well, I don't want to get that'll take a whole mental moment to explain. There was something that I put in this chapter, but it would really take it would take a lot of time to explain it. But the point is, there's different strategies that you can use for growth. One of the things that was someone said, "Oh, from India, welcome." For every it says something like for every spiritual meditation and yoga. I think you meant, yeah, like different ways. Yeah, you do yoga and meditation. Beautiful. Someone said being quiet in nature. Wonderful. Right. One of the things that was really helpful to me in my own spiritual growth journey was, I don't even know when it was. I think it was a couple years ago when I started, and some of you know that have been here on Mental Health Moment, but when I started waking up in the morning and instead of going straight to my cell phone, I instead took some quiet time. And now every single morning it starts with a gratitude practice. It starts with a devotional. It starts with connecting. It starts with prayer. Like it's just a very different way to start the day. And I'm always looking for how can I grow spiritually in my journey as well. So the things that I'm teaching in here are a lot of things that I do personally as well, because personal growth is important to me because I'm in a lot of different spaces. Honored to be in a lot of different spaces, and I hope that I can show up in a good way for a lot of spaces that I'm in. So it is for myself and it's for other people around me as well. Okay, so that's chapter 15. Oh my gosh, look at the time. Okay. And chapter 16 today too. Let me do this quickly. For those of you who are just not tuning in though, I'm going through my newest book, Mindset Training, Conquer Your Mind and the Rest Will Follow. You can get more information about it at mindsettrainingbook.com, or you can order it on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Books a Million, Walmart.com. All different online retailers have the book available. And I don't want to gloss over this chapter too quickly, but I want to also stay on track because we have until the end of this year to get through this whole book. And we're already on chapter 16, so we're almost there. But the last chapter I'm going to cover on today's mental health moment is about giving back. Giving back is so important in your spiritual journey. Someone says, pay attention to, I think it said the voice or air. Oh, to your voice or the air. I think that's what you're saying. um, but giving back is so important. And thank you all, by the way, for like always. I mean, you guys are so interactive when I can see the comments. Sometimes I can't because of technology, but I appreciate you sharing your thoughts and just sharing some things that you're doing because sometimes other people are watching and they're inspired by the things that you're doing for your wellness journey. So I appreciate you all sharing in the chat, by the way. Um, but yeah, giving back, I did put in here that's one of my favorite ways to work on self-care, right? And work on spiritual growth as well. There's a lot of different ways that you can give back. One of my favorite seasons is the holiday season because a lot of times you've seen it probably yourself too, whether or not you celebrate Christmas. This time of year, people tend to be more generous. There's just more support going around, mostly happier emotions, although the holidays bring about a lot of different emotions, frankly. But there's a lot of good that's being done towards the end of the year, which I wish was all year long. But nonetheless, um, there's a lot of examples in this chapter of different ways that you can give back, different ways that you can help other people. One of the things, oh, thank you. One of the things that is really cool about giving back is you are literally also helping your mental health. And what I mean by that is there's actually studies on it that show that when you give to others, it does something to you physically and it can do something to you emotionally and mentally in a positive way, right? There's a lot of different positive effects of it. I also listed some of my favorite charities in this chapter as well, in case you're like, I don't even know where to start. Giving can come in many different forms, as you know. So it might be giving of your time. It might be giving of your funds, of money. It might be giving of different connections that you have and you can help someone. If it's connecting them with a different resource in the community, like there's a lot of different ways that you can give back. There's a lot of schools, a lot of schools that need help. A gazillion years ago, when I was in graduate school, it feels like a gazillion years ago. I used to substitute teach while I was in school. That was one of the jobs that I had while I was in school. And what was interesting is I went to different schools in the county, and the school, like, it was really, and I'm sure it's still like that now, even though I'm not in the schools as often, but depending on what part of town I was in, there were some schools that had like the best resources that you could ever think of. And then there were some schools that had very little resources, because, that's just how it is sometimes, unfortunately. And so, my point in sharing that with you is that there's a lot of needs when it comes to schools. For example, there's a lot of places that need help, frankly. But if that's something that weighs on your heart, you can literally give a school a call and be like, hey, how can I help? How can I support? Different schools need different things. I know some schools that different organizations I've been with, we've supported, they need uniforms. Some schools need school supplies. Some schools need more money. Who doesn't need more money? Right. But like, it depends on, there's a lot of different needs. So I'm just giving you that as one example, but wherever it is that your heart is happy when it comes to giving, if you care about the environment, if you care about people who have housing issues, if you care about food insecurity, whatever it is that you care about and are passionate about and can help in some way, it's going to help the community. Yay. And it can also be beneficial for your mental health, which is essentially what this chapter is about. Um, um, Okay. So, ooh, I made this one kind of a long chapter. Okay, how much time do we have? um, the last thing I wanted to share with you all is that please remember too that every there's not like a how do I say this? Okay, let me think before I say this. One of the things I left off in this chat, or I mean, one of the things that I emphasized at the end of this chapter, chapter 16, was that please don't ever think that what you're doing for someone is like a small thing, right? Because I've seen that a lot. It's like, oh, that was just a little thing that I did. But also remember, there's actually studies on this too, that what you do for others, when they receive that particular gift or that help or however it is that you help them, it's like a lot more than you feel. So if you feel like it's like a 2 out of a 10 rating, for them it's like 2 to 3 times as much as what you thought. So it's just it's more impactful than you know. So I want you to think about that, because sometimes we stop and we're like, oh, we don't know if we should help this person this way. It's not enough. But I don't want you to have that mentality. Instead, I would rather you have the mentality of, okay, let me help anyway, because a small effort is better than no effort, right? And you honestly sometimes you just don't know even what you think is something small, you really don't know the impact that this has in a person's life. Um Find happiness giving is true. I mean, yes, for sure, for sure. So anyhow, so those are some of the things that I mentioned in chapter 16. Again, this area of the book is more about spiritual growth. And I don't want to get too much into, like I said, religion, because I respect any religion or not, lack of religion or whatever it is, whomever it is that's, watching mental health moment. So though in some particular cultures and in some particular religions, when it comes to giving, that is a form of, excuse me, that is an expression that helps your spiritual growth. So just something to keep that in mind, but it doesn't, regardless of, again, your religion or not having religion or wherever it is that you stand on that, it's still important for you to grow spiritually as a person. And one of the ways to do that is to really think about giving back, which of course again helps the community, helps people around you, and it can be beneficial for your mental health as well. um Okay. So that is the end of chapter 16. And again, I listed my favorite charities in here as well. Maybe I'll put it in the chat. Okay, there's a lot. There's 4 of them. I'm gonna put it in the chat, actually. So I'm just gonna put it in here because if some of you are like, man, um, I need to, I'm looking for an organization to give to, then I'm going to make sure I'm giving you the right. Okay. I'm going to give you a couple of options. These are different charities that I have been either involved with, being on their board, or have been a huge supporter of. And they're just, I mean, absolutely amazing organizations, all 4 of them that I'm going to list for you. So, friends of, Joshua Hales .org. Okay. Oops, hopefully I spelled that right. Okay. And again, like I mentioned, oh, okay. Like I mentioned, I'm trying to type and talk at the same time, y'all. Big scissors. Um, Giving comes in a lot of different forms. So I'm sharing this with you just in case you're like, man, I would love to know what are some, good, here we go. BBBS Tampa, hold on. Tampa.org. Okay. In case you're asking yourself, like, where should I start? Where should I give? All those 4 organizations I listed there, the Ryan Neese Foundation, Rising Media Stars, Friends of Joshua House, and Big Brothers Big Sisters of Tampa Bay, as I mentioned, either working with them in some capacity on the board of directors, or going to certain events, getting to know the people that run these nonprofits, getting to see the impact that all 4 of them frankly have had. These are the ones, and that's why I put in the book, these are the ones that I would recommend. So again, check them out. You may be at a point, I know it's the holiday season too, you're like, I'm in a giving mood, I want to find a good charity to give to. Check out those 4, or again, reach out to whatever cause really warms your heart this holiday season. There's a lot of need right now, of course, in the world, and whatever way you can give, again, if you can volunteer your time, give funds, connect people with different resources, in whatever way that you give, all of it is important. Okay, so I really want to leave you with that today. Okay, so the other announcement is that next week, hold on, I think it's next week. Wait. Yes, okay. Okay, next week, Wednesday, December 18th at 1 p.m. Eastern time. I will be on a panel discussion with the International Association of Women. So be on the lookout, especially if you follow me on LinkedIn. I'm going to be putting the link up there soon. And yeah. Anyways, the link up there soon for that event. So that is a public event. So you're welcome to join if you're available at that date and time. I guess it would help if I give you it's called Mastering the Balancing Act, Women's Wellness in a Fast-Paced World. So that's what the event is about. We will be talking about stress management, burnout prevention, ways for you to move into this new year in a good place. Okay, I think those are all my announcements. Thank you all so much again for joining. Be sure to really think about this week how what is it that you need to grow, continue to grow spiritually, because that's really important in your holistic self-care journey as well. Be blessed. I hope you again have an amazing week. I'll see you all next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here live on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. Be blessed, and I'll see you all next week. Bye, guys.